Hi everyone! Welcome to Countdown to Christmas with Crafting with Baby Girl. Today we're on December 9th, so 9 days into December. Duh. Today's cutout is a bell. They start repeating themselves. And this was just done with cardstock, a heavyweight cardstock, cut out with my Cricut. And the December 9 was cut out in Oracle 651, also with my Cricut. I like doing the letters with a vinyl. I just find it's easier to place them where they need to go. So I do a lot of my letters with vinyl. The bag, that's getting kind of wrinkled, is a sandwich bag that I got from Walmart. It came in a pack of 50, and that's what we have. So let's go in and see. If you want to find out what the tree is about, you can go check out one of my earlier videos. So today we have Post-it note clipboards. These are fun. Let's take one of them out so you can see what it is. So here we have just a Post-it note that I got at Dollar Tree. And this is just some chipboard. I put a little ribbon on this one, and this is a Bulldog clip. So, just a Bulldog clip. This is not adhered, so you can put a different notepad on here, or sticky notepad on here. And this just kind of gives it some decoration. You could put a sentiment down here if you wanted, or something, and we're going to do something a little bit down there with the one we do today. But then this just holds it on. And the Bulldog clip has the hole right here, so you can put it like a tack or nail in the wall, and it'll hang up. Also, if you wanted, you could put a magnet on the back of here and it would stick on the fridge. I did not do magnets. But let's go ahead and put this away and get started. Alright, so what we're going to need today is a bunch of little stuff. We're going to need our Cricut cutter. Well, my Cricut cutter, your cutter. I'm going to use a scoreboard. I'm going to use the Score Buddy today. Put that off the side for a sec. Some embellishments. I'm not going to do the bow on this one. I'm actually going to use a little rose, since I'm going with the non-traditional colors and my bows are all red. So there we go. Put that over there. These are some more embellishments that we're going to use, and you might want to you can see where we use those as we go. You might want that. You need a notepad, a sticky notepad. This is one of the skinnier ones that you can get at the Dollar Tree. If you have one of the thicker ones, you're going to have to make adjustments to the sizing. You're going to want some decorative cardstock. We're using the rest of this sheet. I think we used this yesterday, on our video yesterday. And it comes from, let's see how this works, the Ice Crystals pack. See that? There we go. Let's see if we can come up here. Ice Crystals. And it is from Craftsmith. And I got it from Michael's. The earlier videos have a better view of kind of what the paper are. But since I've showed that so many times, I'm not going to really go through that today. That is like my favorite pad. I'm using it all. You're going to want a sentiment. Most likely. I'm doing Merry and Bright. This kind of goes up here with my other things. Then you're going to need just some regular plain cardstock. And I'll give you the dimensions in a minute. And then you're going to need some chipboard. Now, this can be the lightweight chipboard, and to be honest, I pulled this out so you could see. My nephew had a banquet, and so I just cut down the banquet thing, and it did this for me. Another thing we've been doing a lot of is hot chocolate, and the hot chocolate boxes are perfect. So I'm going to set this aside because we're actually going to redo a different one. So just to the side real fast. Okay. This is one that I had already done, and I don't like the color scheme on it, so I'm going to change it. So I just didn't want to confuse you. Typically, I would be using the chipboard. This is cut to 3 3/4 by 4. So basically, and you can make it square if you want. I chose not to make it square. Some of them I did do square, so 4 by 4. But this one I am doing 3 3/4 by 4. And here I'm just kind of showing you how I did it. here I'm cutting it straight down since it's not straight. And then we can cut it at 4. Just right there. Okay, and I know my part of that is off. But and then we turn it over and we do 3 3/4. I'm just kind of showing you how I cut the chipboard. Oops. Just a moment. That's something in there. And then we have our little square done. But like I said, we're not going to use that one. Okay. Now I already cut this down. This piece right here is 3 3/4. Oops. 3 3/4. Oh wait, no. This is 3 5/8 by 3 7/8. So I apologize about that. And yeah. Then we have 2 sheets of this. We want 2 little pieces. One is going to go on our chipboard piece, and the other one is going to go as a cover on our notepad, our sticky notepad. So the one that's going to go on the chipboard to cover this piece, you wanted a 1/2 inch border around. So just make this piece a 1/2 inch bigger on each side than the chipboard. And this one will measure your sticky notepad. So you want it to be the width of your notepad minus 3 inches, so it's 3 inches. And then you want this to be 3 inches plus whatever the width at the top is. In mine it's about 1/4 inch. And then you want a little bit to go onto the back. Usually it can be a 1/2 inch. Mine's going to end up being about an inch, 1.5 inches, just because I wasn't in the mood to cut it down. Alright, now we're going to take out our scoreboard. And we're going to put the small piece, and we're going to put the long edge on. And we're going to come up here at 3 inches, and we're going to score it. Then we're going to score it again at 3 1/4 inches. So you can see that's extra. So then we're going to bend this over, and score our folds. I didn't score those very deep. And I'm not doing that one real solid. I want to make sure that I'm going to make it better once I put it on the notepad. So actually we can go ahead and do that. I forgot score tape. And you can use glue on this, but I really want it to stay on, especially this top part. So I'm using the score tape. You're going to put the score tape on right up to that 3 inch score mark. And it can go over the other one, but it cannot go over that 3 inch, otherwise it's going to get stuck to the front page of the sticky note. And we don't want that. Or the sticky notepad. And then just going around, putting some score tape on. Make sure it's on there good. Oh, I should probably put another piece up here. My bad. So that one's going to go on the top of the notebook. We want to make sure we have one for the top of the back of the notebook. So then we're going to peel off the tape. Not the tape. The tape lining. The other day I was making something and I forgot to take off my tape lining. It was kind of funny. Alright, so we're going to line this up with the bottom. Make sure there's no tape sticking over. And then that 3-inch score mark should go just fine. Like, we want to make sure that that's nice and flush. Nice and straight. And this is where it's a little bit easier. I put in a crease, but this way I can make sure I get that edge just real tight. Just kind of line it up. Then take my bone folder, and that's where I can square that edge. You want to get this top really good so that it adheres. And then we have the front of the notebook. Yay. Now what I was going to do is just to add a little bit more decoration, kind of bent that, to the front of this. I'm going to go ahead and put this Let It Snow on here. It is a little bit bigger than I want it, so I'm just going to trim it down just a tad, because I do want a little on the sides of the original paper to show. And then I'm going to round the corners. Let's see how that... Perfect. I'm using a 1/4 inch corner rounder. Nothing spectacular. It's by Helishi or something like that. Helishi. I actually think I picked this up on the Wish app. I was getting a lot of stuff off Wish for a while. Having fun with that. Alright, so then we're going to take our score tape. And when I know what the embellishment is going to be, I kind of just do it as I'm doing each section, since there's different sections. I knew I was going to be putting this on. So sometimes I don't do the embellishment till at the end. And I, you know, if I was going to add more, but I wasn't planning on it. And I'm going to kind of center it. Squeeze my head in the picture. Alright. I just thought that added a little bit cute. Ooh, it's way crooked. You got a little bit of time before this really sets. Thank goodness. Let's try that again. I'm gonna center it more at the top, or just put it up a little bit higher anyway. No, I don't want it up higher because that's where the clip's gonna go, so we'll put it down at the bottom. Remember, there's going to be a clip that holds this on. So up here, there's going to be a clip. So it'll be like this. So you don't want to put, you want to put your sentiment down there, so that works. All right. So we're not done with that yet, but we're going to go on to here. So we've got our piece here, and we're going to go ahead and score it. Turn on this side, I'll score easier. At a 1/2 inch on all the edges. So just turn it 90 degrees and score it at a 1/2 inch. Turn it 90 degrees, score it at a 1/2 inch. Turn it 90 degrees and score it at a 1/2 inch. Then we're going to fold the scores, or fold our on our score marks and burnish it. Fold on our score marks and burnish. Fold on our score marks, burnish. Fold on our score marks and burnish. Now what we're going to do is we don't need these corners that are right here. See it right there. So we're going to just put it a little tiny angle. We're going to cut out the corners. So just off to the side of the original score mark. It kind of helps take the bulk away, but when it folds down... Oh wait, I forgot. This one actually we want a little bit more. So we're going to miter the edges here. Like I said, it kind of takes away the bulk. We've got a good cover going on the top of it, so... Cut into it at a bit of an angle. Not too much, but a little bit. Alright, then we're going to go ahead, let's get that out of the way, and more score tape. And we're going to put score tape around the edge of each of the sections. And I just use my finger, I press with my finger, and that's how I tear the tape most of the time. Sometimes I cut it. I've tried using different things. I mean, you kind of got to find what works for you with the score tape. Alright, now we're going to go ahead on the inside, not on the fold, but on the inside. Just go ahead and go around. This is going to hold it to the back so that the back part stays on. And this is where I need to have music. Normally when I'm crafting, either I'm watching a movie, like I'm a Netflix binger. And then we're going to go ahead and put the score tape along the edges of this piece as well. But I'll Netflix binge and then, or I listen to books on tape. And currently I am listening to Game of Thrones. I'm listening to it on audiobook. My husband watches the series, and we never could find time to watch it together. So I started listening to the book. And then we compare the book with the show. Of course, he's current on the series, and I am on book 3 of the series, so he knows more of what's happening than I do. Just put a couple in here, because we don't want this piece to come off. It's pretty... Alright. Put that off to the side. Whoops, I flipped it. Now, again, this would be your piece that we cut out of the chipboard, but I'm reusing this because I want to change it. Oh, did I not cut this big enough? Okay, that might not be the case. We might be going ahead and making it out of this. Oh, I only did... I might not have done a full... That side. One side I did wrong. Alright, I need to cut this side down by 1/4 inch just so I can, for demonstration purposes, I don't want to start all the way over. This piece I had actually cut it at 4x4 when I was talking with you guys, so I needed to cut it down to what it needs to be. So first I'm going to go ahead and take off the inside, the linings of the score tape on the inside. I gotta remember which side. There we go. And put it right up to your score mark. Oh, I should have done it the other way so you could see the little macaroni. I'm going to take out these and just fold them down. And you add that thick, the nice heavy cardstock to it. Actually, let's do opposite sides. Makes it look cleaner. Between the chipboard, the light chipboard, and the heavy cardstock, it makes this quite durable. Okay, so now we have that and it's all nice and pretty. This is actually the back. Then we're going to go ahead and I'm actually going to see if I can trim this down just a tiny bit. Since I had to adjust the other one, I'm just taking off a little bit of this. But I still have score tape on it, so I don't need to adjust that. Should be fine. It should be enough score tape to hold it on. take off the score tape, the lining, the backing. I use my nails for everything. I'm going to get them clipped off in a few weeks, so it's going to be interesting. They're like a tool I use. I have to figure out how to use like a piercing tool or something, but I'm not going to be used to it. Oop, I did that. Nope, that worked out. Okay. It's not too crooked. Alright, so we got that down there now. What I wanted to do is I just thought I'd put this little memo card here in case I don't have a sticky note to put on, or sticky notepad to put on there. So I'm going to, I like rounded corners, although this is kind of, I'm thinking right now, I'm trying to decide, I really like rounded corners, but these corners are squared. So I think I'm going to leave it squared. And, ooh, almost out of score tape. What will I do? And since this is, again, more decorative and less structural, I don't need quite as much score tape. These are just kind of some ideas you can do. These little cards like the Let It Snow were just inserts that were, or those cutouts that from the paper set, from the paper pack. Alright. Now you would go ahead and put this, right here. And I'm going to line that up with the little piece I just put on. And that just adds a little depth to it too. That's actually probably where we're going to put our sentiment as well. We're going to use a little bow. I got these off of, I believe, eBay. Oops. When I'm buying I don't use name brand stuff all the time. It's just easier to buy it in bulk like this. And a lot cheaper. This would be a good place to use either like your hot glue gun or liquid glue. I don't use my hot glue gun very often. But I'm going to be putting it on with score tape. It's a little bit harder to get the lining off when you're putting it on fabric. But it does hold down. I actually prefer using this when I'm using ribbon. So we have a nice little bow. Now here's the Merry and Bright. This is a 1/2 inch. Yeah, 1/2 inch. I believe it is 1 3/4 inches. And then I used my little trimmer to do the edges. This right here, I actually cut out the oval and wrote the Merry and Bright with my Cricut. But you could just make it a little bit smaller and stick it on there. And I already put score tape on this. Probably should have made the other a little bit bigger. I was using a scrap when I decided what to do this, and it was only that big, so. And I'm thinking about putting that right there. I don't know. Oh, I don't know why I grabbed that. I'm not sure. I could just put that right there too. Maybe I'll do that. Alright. So that might be kind of cute. So there we go. I mean, you can put ribbon on it. I didn't have any ribbon in this color scheme, so I didn't want to put in some ribbon. And then put in nice little packaging, and there you go. It's a nice little gift. So, thanks for watching. Laters. Bye-bye.